Nope, that is not a typo. Today we are going to be making our picks for our 2021 driver lineups. However, the twist is here, it's for the Formula One Fantasy League. We have $100 million, 5 drivers to pick, and 1 constructor, all in hopes of creating the perfect team.
If you haven't created your own team yet, or you've never done this before, don't worry, because now is the perfect time to do so. The leagues have just opened up, and we will be showing you how to build your own F1 team.
And we'll be creating our own custom league for you to compete up against us and everyone else that follows the channel to see who will end up on top.
Obviously, you want to score as many points as possible for your team, and this varies depending on how your driver places in the race, as well as qualifying, in addition to some features like turbo driver and power-ups. On the contrary though, if your driver has a bad weekend, this can actually score you negative points. The tricky part behind all this is that you have to lock in your choices before each race, with only a few substitutions made throughout the entire season.
Now you might be wondering why this is so much fun to participate in. Let's say if during a race or an entire season there's some sort of one-team domination. Never heard of that before. What's fun about this is you get to cheer for drivers other than your favorite. It heightens up the midfield battles and adds a little friendly competition between you and your friends. We have left a link down in the description of where you can go to start creating your team. Just log into your Formula One account and you can get started right there. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Like this video if you are enjoying it, and without further ado, let's get into our first picks. How about you start us off? You have $100 million, 20 drivers to choose from. Who's your first pick?
He's gonna be costly, but in order to ensure I maximize on points, I'm gonna have to go with Lewis Hamilton. He is a surefire way of making sure that your team does well. But he comes with a very hefty budget, so this could be complicated in the later stages of picking drivers. For a slightly more affordable option, but still a safe bet, I'm actually going with Lando, because McLaren is a pretty reliable team, and you know that Lando's most likely going to score some points at the very least, so I think he's a pretty safe choice. So already 2 drivers in and almost half of my budget is gone, so this should be mighty interesting. Even though in some previous videos I've said that I'm not too sure how this team is going to perform, I'm still going to go ahead and pick Alonso just because his price is fair, and I do still think he has the capability to pull out some strong results. Now I'm actually going to go ahead and jump straight to my constructor just to make sure that I have at least a decent team within my budget. For the time being, I'm going to choose McLaren for my constructors just because Mercedes and Red Bull are a bit too expensive at the moment, but even then I may still have to adjust some things around. This is so hard. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and every year I'm always so shocked at how difficult it is to make these picks. Who can I afford? I'm actually gonna go ahead and put Yuki Tsunoda on my team because he is in an AlphaTauri, which we did see was able to score points pretty consistently last season. I mean, Pierre got a win in that car, and Yuki comes with a very low price tag because he is a rookie, but he has an immense amount of talent and promise. I'm gonna take a chance on him, put him on my team. He's only worth 8.8 million. That seems like an easy choice. Now that does only leave me with 10.1 million left, which doesn't give me a lot of option, but you know who does fall within my budget is Esteban Ocon. Anyone who knows me knows that he is far from my favorite driver, but he did get a podium last season. He did score a decent amount of points, and he is one of the very few remaining people within budget that also happens to have a decent car. So Esteban, congrats, you've made it onto my team. Let's hope you're a winner. Honestly, I am quite impressed with the fact that I hit exactly $100 million on the dot. Usually there's something like a few $1,000s left over because the numbers don't line up quite the way they should. I've somehow managed to push my budget to the very limit. I'm somewhat confident in my team. I think that I will likely end up having some races where things might not go that well. But with Hamilton on my side, I think I'm pretty much a shoo-in for some consistent wins. Next up is to select my turbo driver. I don't think anyone's going to be overly surprised by this. I picked him as one of my turbo drivers last season, therefore I'm doing it again this season. I am going with Mr. Lando Norris, with a car that was 3rd in the Constructors' Championship, a new Mercedes power unit that I am very excited and also extremely hopeful for. I think he'll end up scoring me some extra much needed points.
So Cass, I've seen how you picked your team. I've seen your thought process behind it, trying to get my gears turning exactly of how I'm going to pick the best team. So I pulled up a screenshot from my team of last year, and I'm going to try my best to replicate it as much as I can within the budget. But I have the feeling a lot of the drivers have gone up in price, especially seeing as they've swapped teams. So right off the bat, I'm going to go right into the constructor because I want to just get that one out of the way. Last year, I went for Racing Point as my constructor. This year, of course, they are Aston Martin. I'm going to go with them. I think they're going to have a similar season as to last year. However, this time, they're not going to get any penalties from the FIA for copying anything. And hopefully they get some better luck with Lance not having as many DNFs, and with Vettel being a 4-time world champion, he's going to bring that team to the success that they need. So my first pick, he's on my team year after year, and I try and get these two drivers always on my team because they're always doing well on track. First one, I'm going with Max Verstappen. It's a quarter of my budget to spend on one driver, but I think every dollar is worth it. He's in a Red Bull. He's performing very well if there's no mechanical issues, that's for sure. And I think Red Bull is going to have even a stronger season this year than last year. And that's also why, as my second driver, I'm going with Sergio Perez. Although he might be in his first year with Red Bull and still have to get used to the car, I think he's going to hit the ground running in this car. He's going to get some victories, and the two of them are going to be just such a great pair for Red Bull. I can't choose them as my constructors as well, but I'm very confident in these two picks, especially with streaks being a factor to consider. They're going to be performing well race after race. I only have $40 million left and 3 drivers to choose from. So like Cass, I'm also going to be picking Lando Norris. He's usually on my team. He's going to be in a strong McLaren car. He's always going to be up in the points, I feel, so I'm pretty confident that Lando is going to have another good season. There's a lot of different drivers to choose from in these last 2 positions. Last year I had Daniel on my team, and I think even this year in an even better car, he's going to perform really well. Feels odd to be choosing 2 Red Bulls and 2 McLarens, but I think these 2 teams are going to dominate this season, other than Mercedes, of course. So that's why Daniel is also joining my team, giving me only $8.8 million left to choose from. And I'm going to be picking Yuki Tsunoda as my 5th driver because he fits my budget. He's in an AlphaTauri, which we've seen last year do really well in order to score several points throughout the season. It might be hit or miss sometimes, but I think it's a safe bet as my last driver to choose from. To choose my turbo driver, I chose him last year. Didn't fail me. Sergio Perez. I think he's going to have a good season, especially in that new car. So that is why he's my turbo driver. So there you have it. That's my team. I see we have a few similar drivers, but also some key differences. What are your thoughts?
I'll be honest, I'm very jealous that you managed to snag Ricciardo within your budget. He's a driver that I really wanted on my team, but just could not find a way to fit him in without compromising for the less paid drivers.
Of course, you get Lewis Hamilton on your team. He's going to score a massive amount of points.
It'll be really interesting to see how things go throughout the season. Maybe we'll both end up making some major switches. Maybe one of us made the perfect call. Maybe one of us will have to make some adjustments. Regardless, we will be keeping you guys up to date. And of course, if you want to keep track after every race, you'll just have to join our league.
Now, of course, you can create 3 different teams. However, these were the ones that we were going forward with for the league. Here are the other 2 teams that we have created each.
We wanted to give you guys some variety to see what other options are possible within the $100 million budget.
Who knows, maybe these teams would have been a better choice for us. We'll just have to wait and find it out after the end of the season. So go ahead, jump on the link down in the description, create your teams. We will also share with you the link to our league for you to join. You only get 1 team once again, so pick wisely.
We hope you are just as excited for the season to start as we are, and we cannot wait to see what teams you submit forward.
Once again, thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so now. Leave this video a like if you've enjoyed it. Let us know if we made some poor decisions, some great decisions. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
As per usual, make sure to follow us on social media. We will be posting the updates after every race, and send us your photos of which teams you have selected.
We will catch you in the next one.
Bye!